All right, everyone. There we are. It's us. Good times. So, yeah, you'll notice that the mic might sound a little better tonight, as Budo pointed out in the chat there.
Indeed. I'm not all crackly.
Yay, we have sound. All right, everyone. So, I figured we could wait till Friday to talk about this, but it'd be old news then. Who knows what else happens then? Who knows if we can just put things to bed at this point? Who knows? But we should probably talk about what happened over the last few days with Mike Jones tonight. So we're having a special episode. Plus, that wonderful country that our boy here, lives in declared the Proud Boys terrorists today, and we should have a show to celebrate. Um,
Apparently, there is still audio issues. They can't hear you too well.
they can't hear me too well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, which person can't you hear well? Cause I am talking right into my mic. Okay,
All
cool,
right.
good times. I love you, Velps. I really do. All right. Yeah. So, first up, for the few people, of which I now have three of them text messaging me, that I know not only watch this but also talk to me outside of this. I went to put my phone, which is right here, up as my camera right before this started, and I have to put it into do not disturb mode so I don't see or hear anything, so it doesn't interfere with it being a camera. And, when I did that, I found out it had been in do not disturb mode all day. So, I haven't responded to anyone all day because I thought everyone was leaving me alone. So,
Wow.
what a day. I had a nice day of silence, only because I was being an idiot. So,
Wow, nobody's bothering me today. That's so
I know,
nice.
right? Like, it was one of those wonderful days. So for everyone who actually did try and reach out to me, I will be getting back to you either after the show or first thing in the morning. But yeah, good times. So
Hmm.
let's talk about Mike Jones, a name that I now know that I didn't know before.
Likewise, I had no clue who this person was, and I was talking to a few people, and they had actually asked me about Mike Jones. Somewhat recently, last couple of months, and I completely forgot about it because they were like, "Do you know who this person is?" I'm like, "I don't know. Doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody else might know them, but I'm not sure." Um, and it turns out that no, in fact, nobody knows who this person is. Uh,
So this is where it gets a little interesting. So we see a tweet, and I'm gonna show this to you. A few days ago, and this is from the 22nd, that says founding member of URNon News and talks about Mike Jones. This makes us wonder what? You'll notice at the bottom of the screen there, it says that this tweet has been deleted because it has. But I still had it cached in my client, so that's how it looks when you've got the Twitter client on your desktop and a tweet is deleted. And we we all saw it and we're like, well, that's interesting. I've never heard of this guy. Who is he? And you go looking and you find tons of other places where he has said, that he has this strong affiliation with Early Anonymous. And in various versions of it, he was out by 2008. He was around for Occupy Wall Street. He was in through Barrett Brown, who was 5 years late to the party, basically. I love Barrett, but like he didn't start being around and interacting in kind of the core things. He was around. He showed up for ops, but like he wasn't there in the core of things and actually doing things and organizing ops for years after Anonymous already existed. So his story never made sense, right? When we go and look back at all of his stuff. So finally, some people responded to this tweet with like, "Nope, no idea who this Mike Jones is." And then Your Non News itself actually responded to that tweet, saying also, "We have no idea who that is. He's never been on this account." And now we have found out that at least that one claim Security Boulevard says wasn't Mike Jones' fault. They put out this in response to You Are Not News and me and themselves, it seems. So they dug in and they basically said because he had claimed a connection to Anonymous, their social media team had just tweeted out that it was Your Non News because that's who they know of as Anonymous. They only kind of, they're single-minded in that way. And I guess that makes sense. That's one of the few pieces of this that I can totally buy. Like, makes sense to me. But at the same time, I'm sitting here just like, well, it's also convenient. So now my guy here downing a monster, and me, we get to talking about what's going on.
Why am I lagging so hard?
Yeah, I have no idea why you're lagging so hard. You're not on the video with me, just on Streamlabs. But there you are. Now you're moving fine. So we get, of course, ourselves into Mike's podcast. He has a podcast, and it's called Haunted Hackers. And we go over there just to watch. There's no plans. We're not going to do anything. This isn't a raid. I honestly just wanted to watch. I was going to just figure out who this guy was. For all I know, under a different handle, because Anonymous, he was around, right? Like, you don't know these things. Maybe a lot of his story doesn't add up, but like, whatever. You know, a lot of Anons also obfuscate pretty well. So who knows? You know, again, I'm showing up just to kind of be like, benefit of the doubt, let's watch the podcast. And it goes like this for me. I get in, and the second I get there, I get a DM from Mike Jones. Is this the Gregg I'm thinking of? To which, of course, I respond, is there another 3G Gregg from the beginning of Anonymous? Because that would be news to me. He responds, nice, what brings you to my podcast? Now I want you to see this where he says nice, right? So a signal of happiness, it seems like to me. So I say, morbid curiosity. He says, we good? Yet to be seen? Well, if we aren't, no need to be here, right? And I, of course, say, it's a podcast. It's supposed to have listeners. And then you can see Kurt showing up in the chat there in the non-direct messages on this wonderful Zoom call. Yep. And it's about this time that happens. And we all get banned from the Zoom call. So, of course, we all rejoin on our phones for, you know, still being able to watch it and all that. Under, you know, just fake names and whatnot. And so we're sitting there and watching, and I've got a few comments about this. So I'm watching his podcast, and it's solid content. I mean, you know, I know better CISOs than this guy, but he's not bad. His content is solid. He's talking about red teaming, blue teaming. He's talking about various exploits and various techniques, and he's not wrong. So, like, he's got some of the skills. He's got some of the knowledge. He's definitely someone who, you know, given any other circumstances, I'd be glad there's another podcast out there spreading this information to the world, right?
Yep.
And so, like, great. Except, why did he, you know, just kick us when all we did was show up? Like, I hadn't said anything yet. I had, like, it was just
why did he open with, are we gonna have problems?
Yeah, like, he goes from nice, what brings you here, to are we gonna have problems? So then we just dig in a little more, and we come to find out that, you know, the job he has as CISO is tied to all these press releases where they announce that they hired, you know, ex-anonymous hacker and black hat and to be their CISO. And so it looks like he was writing the name. And then we find all these talks that he's given. And it seems like, from what I can tell from some industry people I've talked to, they were paying gigs. So he's writing the name to get paid to give talks. And so I remember that, you know, in his chat, he had mentioned Barrett Brown as, oh, this phone call to Barrett Brown. I'm like, we haven't talked to Barrett. We don't know what's going on. So I go and I find Barrett Brown and I ask him, hey, what's up with this? And he's like, that Mike Jones guy, I think I remember him. And then, a few minutes later, he's like, yeah, he called me one day and was crazy and I think he was on drugs. This is from Barrett Brown saying I think he was on drugs. So God bless, who knows? I mean, I'm not going to judge, but Barrett does know his drugs, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But that's all Barrett can remember of the guy is he's some weirdo who called me up with some weird offers, and I didn't want any of them. And so I go and I ask a bunch of other old schoolers, a couple of which are in here watching, every show. People who were around in 07, 06, and 08, and some people who were there for the founding of You're Not News. Nobody's heard of this guy. So again, his story doesn't add up. So now, me and Kurt start talking about, what to do, and we end up deciding that we're going to go onto his Discord. He has a Discord, and we go over there, and I honestly would love to just go over to this guy's Discord and have a nice conversation about, hey, your content looks decent. You seem to be attempting to train people on all these skill sets that I would love to see more people know. How about admit the problems with your story for the past, and then maybe, just maybe, go forward without it, right?
Yep.
And you'll see some of this. Expected that from Gregg and Kirtaner and Banhammer, and we all get banned and everything else. But of course, we joined with socks and everything else. So while he bans our real accounts, we're in there with other accounts. And so I'm going to show what happened over there, which was fun. Well, it starts out with stuff like this, where he says that we've had issues since 2003. Stinger is his handle. And it turns out that he did get in trouble with the FBI and everything. So he must have been around Anonymous for a few weeks and did something stupid, and then got popped in all of a few weeks. I don't know. But if you look it up, that guy Stinger did have some, problems, but we never heard of him.
Nope.
And
I even went and I grepped a whole bunch of shit trying to find his handle.
Searching. I went through old logs of IRC servers. Nothing. He's never existed around any of us. But
2003 was a huge red flag too.
Yeah, of course, since Anonymous didn't even exist then, and I wasn't really on IRC or chats or anything else from about 2000 to about 2007. As I was facing trial and all kinds of other fun stuff, and then ending up in prison. So that's wrong. Now, later in other chats, he has stated that, it wasn't 2003, it was 2016. And he doesn't respond to but then why did you say 2003? And why did you say, 20 years and blah, blah, blah? Well, so again, story doesn't add up. So next we, of course, find out that just like Kaizen says, he volunteers for doing security for police stations and police and feds and all kinds of other stuff.
And he said he was a confidential informant. I mean,
he said it happily.
He said it happily, and this is somebody that people are embracing for some reason.
And so this is him at the end of the night. This is him on his Discord at the end of the night, being unhappy with everything that has gone on during the day. And this is his podcast's Twitter account as of today. Locked down, and nobody can see whatever he has to say. And so during all of this, I'm thinking to myself, who is this guy? And what claim does he have to even knowing me? And so I went and searched in my email for the guy's name, thinking maybe I've heard of this guy before, but it's not ringing a bell. I definitely don't have a beef with someone for 17 years that I can't even remember. There's people I have a beef with, and Kurt knows them well. Kurt and those people are friends. I'm cool with that. I like having haters. It's okay. If you're doing shit out there, you're gonna get haters. It's just a thing. But this guy, I don't like having people who think we have a beef who I don't even know. I don't even know they exist. How am I supposed to sit over here being happy that I'm living in your head rent-free when I don't know I'm living in your head rent-free? That's not
exactly
fair. If we have beef, let me know. I would like to know when I'm in that head, just rent-free, just living there. Just you wake up in the morning thinking about me. That's a thing I want to be aware of. 17 years, you say? What? So I go search my email and I find Mike Jones in my email from 2016. Now, here is what I find from 2016. So a reporter has quoted Mike Jones in some articles about the founding of Anonymous and reached out to me for clarification on some of it. And this is my only interaction with anything Mike Jones related, well, since 2003, I guess. And it is, I don't know where you found this Mike Jones fellow, but he has no idea what he is talking about. And the quote is, of course, Jones said the initial idea that led to the formation of the group was injustice. No. No.
He tried that shit with me too, like in private.
Yeah.
I was just like, "What the fuck are you so, like? What? Where the fuck did you get that information from?"
So the next quote is, "We kind of got together, put our heads together, and labeled ourselves because basically freedom fighters." Never happened. None of that ever happened.
No,
we were messing with people and like flooding their inboxes and joining their stupid online flash games and like just like there was no freedom fighters. Everything that happened with Chanology, while definitely a lot of that is kind of my fault and like a group of us really got together and made that all happen, like most of it was still accidental. We didn't know that we were like building a group of Anons who were going to go out across the world and protest in the streets. Like, if we had known that, I don't think we could have pulled it off. Like, we
it all happened by accident.
To have pre-planned that. Like, none of us knew what we were fucking doing, right?
Yeah, the accidental grassroots movement.
It's the best kind of grassroots movement. So I find this email, and it's literally the only instance of him being anywhere near us other than Barrett Brown telling me that once he got a call from this guy sounding like he was on drugs. And that's it. That's all we know of this guy. So
and then he's putting screenshots of that conversation with Barrett Brown in his Discord.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Barrett would have been appreciative of that, even if he were asked. First of all.
So I don't know. I mean, what I know is he was somehow around for a few minutes at some point. He did get in trouble, so it looks like maybe he was around for literally a few minutes and was so bad at it that he got in trouble, like, that quick.
Or he got in trouble for something else entirely and then decided to spin it.
Maybe it was just a way to get work. Now,
I want to search Pacer for this dude.
You can, like, search for his, like, docs, and, like, his FBI stuff's all out there. Like, it's public. You can find, like the PDFs of it and shit.
He's not on Pacer, you say?
Yeah. So I don't know what's true about anything you can find out there, really. The thing that is just crazy to me is when you look at the things he has actually done, like the work or the interactions or the communities he's building, I like some of that. The idea of having a Discord out there that's full of a bunch of people who are actually on red teams and blue teams and really doing that level of corporate work, sharing that knowledge with youth and people who want to join and learn this stuff would be great, right? I did not queue those up in time. I will find them again and bring them up, but I found them like a couple days ago and didn't save them. Maybe he'll send them over. I'll get him to post them on his Twitter there, which I can't see anymore. I like the idea of his Discord existing in terms of just what it was attempting to accomplish. And the community seemed to really be tight-knit. I mean, the second we came over to start asking, let's call it tough questions, that community circled the wagons, man. They were right behind him, yelling at us to go away. Man, did they love that guy. And they got on Twitter to defend him. But none of them would respond to why is he writing all of this information. Why is he saying he's a beef with me that goes back this far when I don't know who the fuck this guy is? Like, I have no idea. Like, that's my only issue. Like, the only beef that exists is the fact that he thinks there's beef and I never knew who he was. Like, that's
exactly like I was out here. I'm gonna put this up. Like, this is a conversation that I had with him privately during like right after all that crap. Let me pull anything either. Do.
You can see how many monitors he has by where his eyes are all darting all over the place.
Yes.
We might be bad at microphones, but we're really good at multi-monitor setups.
Okay, so
Yeah, ain't nobody reading that. What the hell?
yeah, I like just straight up, just me grilling him. Say like, none of your claims are correct. I have no idea who you are. I asked him, where were you? What was your handle, etc. What have you done? And he just gave me these non-answers. Dallas, Agent Smith, Barrett, U.S. Attorney's Office. Like, what? That fucking means jack shit to me. Like,
I know what he's referencing there, but like, if he was actually attached to all of that, you know, I went to some of those courtrooms. I was there in support of my friend. I at one of those points, I literally slept at Barrett's mom's house in the guest room just to be down in Dallas for that weekend. Like, I mean, I'd never heard of the guy then. The only time I ever heard of him was in 2016 for that one. So I'm guessing his correction to us having beef starting in 2016 was maybe that reporter reached back out to him and said I was talking trash in email, but he didn't reach out to me and tell me I was.
If there was another arrest associated with Anonymous around that time period, that's something that people probably would have heard of.
I would think so.
Like that would have been in the media along with everything else. But nobody saw that shit. Nobody has any idea who the fuck that person is. And on top of that, like, it can't be an alias because he's saying stuff that is factually false. It's like he's taking little bits and pieces out of stuff that is public and is known, or little factoids that he probably picked up from Wikipedia, and half the shit on the anonymous article on Wikipedia towards the beginning is a whole bunch of bullshit that realistically needs a hell of a lot of retcons. It just seems like he made this amalgamation of a story, and he can't even keep that straight. That's the impression that I got from him.
Which is why I think the second we showed up, he started kicking and banning us from places because he didn't want to have to answer questions that he knows he has made conflicting public statements about.
Yes.
Now, again, all this is to say that, like, all he had to do when we showed up is let us watch the podcast and then let us join the Discord. And then when we asked him some simple questions, say, I mean, dude, I would have taken the story of I was really hurting. I needed work. This got me jobs. I now have a good family life. And you know what? I'll back off a little. I would have said, you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. You know, say that publicly and we good. You know, like, I mean, I know other people aren't that forgiving, but like for me, I'm just like, you know, just tell me something. Give me something I can work with. And instead, we all just get kicked, banned, yelled at, threatened. Like,
I don't like it when people double down on bullshit.
Yeah,
just be straight. Just stop doubling the fuck down. And you're getting shit on. Everybody is tearing into you, rightfully so, and you won't fucking stop doubling down. There's no point to it. All you're gonna do is make things worse. Because when you double down, everybody else is gonna start swarming in for the kill, and it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until you do finally concede. That's generally how these things go.
I had more people come on Signal and just like message me like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, well, I haven't talked to you in like 8 years. And they're like, so what's going on with this Jones character? And I was like, do you know him? No. The only other person that is seeming to have been around a while around Anonymous on the periphery is some guy named Tom Ryan, who says he's known this Mike Jones character forever. I know I've heard the Tom Ryan name a couple times, but I mean, all I remember, is exactly that, like that he's some kind of a Fed. But I don't remember much else of him. I don't remember ever talking to him. I might have once or twice on Twitter or something, but like, so some guy who was never around any of the actual stuff, the founding, the planning, the real ops, says he might know this guy. Well, that doesn't help your story either. So like, all I wanted was for him to own up, say, yeah, haha, got me. And then maybe have a nice conversation where, you know, we got to figure out what he was working on. Because I honestly want what he was trying to build there to exist. I think that's a cool idea. And I
On
think
top of that,
some of the people in there were pretty cool too. Like some of the people reached out to us were like, "Hey, we really like what he's building, and he's been our friend for a while, so we're not gonna just believe you." But and then we had some pretty good conversations with people from that Discord outside of that Discord.
I had some conversations with some of the people that were his co-hosts who felt very lied to and betrayed. People that were involved with domestic terrorism, op KKK back 2015 or so, and they all quit. Like every single person that were involved with ops within the last 5 or so years, they were all just like, "Oh, holy shit, this guy fucking scammed me," and they bounced. I don't blame them. On top of that, when you pay attention to his story about his personal life outside Anonymous, he says that he was in the military, and then after he got out of the military, he got into trouble with the feds for hacking related shit, and then fled the country to the UK, and now can't return to the US. It's just
that would have been bigger news.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Like, that's. You got any citations? Seriously.
Yeah. So I just don't know. I just wanted to like clear up the fact that like that's kind of how the weekend went. At this point, Security Boulevard have changed their messaging to just say. Because again, one of the things about Anonymous is you can't say somebody isn't. They could very well have just used the damn name and the logo and done a thing. You can say you're unhappy they used the damn logo and the thing. You can say you're anonymous too and now you're mad at them. But like the whole brand exists and survives arrests and everything else because people can use it. However, you can't claim to have done all these early things when you didn't.
Yeah.
That's like problematic.
Very, very stolen valor. Not a cool thing. Yeah, not at all.
So, if anyone wants to see the video where he says the thing about like being basically exiled to Britain and talks about cybersecurity and all that, this is his actual talk on YouTube. It's like 14 minutes.
Exiled to Britain.
And again, if you follow along with the content itself, past all the weirdness in his early stories about like where he comes from, then just not bad content. Like for that type of an audience, it's the right kind of content to be delivering. So like again, like it'd be great. But at this point,
yes, that's another thing. He claims that the FBI had him infiltrate Fancy Bear during the 2016 DNC hacks.
Yeah, and see, this is again where we get to the problems, right? He has a lot of good ideas about what he would like to achieve with like the Discord chat, his talks and all that stuff, but he can't stop making shit like that up. Like
that is the most laughable fucking thing. Like even outside the Anon shit, like that is the most laughable thing I have seen come out of him. Like, that's ridiculous. That would be international news.
It would. It would. I mean...
and also, Russia would probably send a hit squad after him. Let's be real.
Yeah, Russia have killed many people, including people in England. Like, I mean, they have poisoned people on British soil. Like, recently. Like, in the last decade or so. So, like... no? But... I don't know at this point. I mean, I don't really give a shit. Like, I'm not here to, like, go past this. I kind of wanted this to be, like, let's just put it all out there and say, fuck it, and move on.
Yes.
I mean, if anyone else wants to keep, like, interacting with the guy, whatever. But I personally am only going to respond if he comes back at me. Like, that's it. I'm done interacting with him from this point on. I don't see any value in it for anyone. So, Yeah.
He might have might have had some uncomfortable work related conversations today. That's all I'll say on that one.
I heard that was coming down in some chats, but I definitely had nothing to do with that. Oh my god.
Mm,
Wow, that's cold blooded. But I mean, maybe stop all the lying. Now,
yeah.
I can say beyond some of the insanity stuff that he's used to get some of the work, I could actually buy into some of the obfuscating your past logic that only people like us would like. There's like 30 people in the world who could corroborate half of his little things about the early stuff. So like I could see wanting to obfuscate your past if you're actually a good hacker. Like fine, but there are ways to do that without all of this shit that's easily proven wrong by people who have a history of actually being vetted as factually correct on things about anonymous, hacktivism, Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street, and all these other things.
It is my personal opinion that if you are admitting to being a CI at any point, that you probably shouldn't associate yourself with the brand at that point. That's just a personal feeling.
I mean, I would say if you're out there bragging about how much you work with cops, that's a problem for
Yeah.
associating with the brand.
Yes. Yeah. Essentially, yes.
So,
Don't do that. And if anybody pays attention to you after you're doing that, then those people, like essentially, you are brainwashing a bunch of impressionable youth into becoming bootlickers, and that ain't cool either.
So yeah, again, and also stop associating with the brand if that's your idea, if that's
Yes.
where you are in your head. Like, just remove it from everything. That's cool, right? Like, yeah. I don't know. I think that's a fair ask, personally.
Very, very fair ask.
But like, I'm not some arbiter. I'm just these are my opinions. I think I have a little more than 12 years here into this, and I don't think he does. So there we are. Anyways, yeah, good times.
Woo!
So, if anyone has any questions about all that before we go to topic number 2 of the night, or if Kurt, you have anything specific we didn't already address.
Well, I mean, kind of had some fun in his Discord that he didn't quite like.
Discord might have some serious trouble giving bots basically admin access at some points. And webhooks might be very abusable if you don't set it up correctly. Yes, Zemanuel42 there. Yes. Indeed, there was some trouble in the Discord. It might have been old school 2007 style anonymous trouble.
Yeah, yeah. I would show some footage of this trouble, but I don't want to get
Discord. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think Twitch would allow that footage.
No.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny. I was watching from the sidelines. I'm not. I'm just not there anymore. But it was funny. It was funny. Not gonna lie.
Yes, it's quite funny. Giving webhooks the ability to access text to speech. That's a bold choice. That's a very bold choice. Discord.
Thanks for all the cheers, guys. Thanks for the follows too.
Woo.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So now today, the House of Commons, the HOC, up there in Canada, has declared that the Proud Boys are a terrorist group. I believe that's what your country did.
Yes. Today, the NDP basically pushed through that the Proud Boys are indeed a terrorist organization. And are greenlighting methods to stamp out white supremacist and hate movements.
And that of course is a group founded by a Canadian, Gavin McInnes.
Yes.
And we learned a lot of interesting things about that founding and about kind of the beginnings of all of that from the Viceland movie script, which has leaked on the internet in the last few days.
Yes.
And this is a movie script that it looks like Vice and Shane and Gavin and Viacom and all these other people don't want to see get made.
So I'm gonna point something out here about the script and the leak, because I did a little bit more digging myself.
Yeah.
So somebody else had leaked a whole bunch of scripts a handful of weeks ago. There was a Reddit post that I tracked down with a link to a Google Drive. I'm not sure if those scripts are supposed to be out around in circulation, but somebody managed to find a Google Drive with all these scripts. Most of these scripts sitting in them. Just to clarify, like the script eventually made its way to us. It got out there for wide exposure, but it has been floating around for a little bit of time before now.
Weeks. Yeah.
So just to be clear, we are not the originators of the leak. We are just blasting it out there as much as possible because it didn't seem to get noticed.
I thought it was hilarious when I read it. I also thought the domain chosen for it was hilarious too. Like when I saw what domain it had been put up on, I was quite happy with that. But it's up on Buttsex, buttse.cx. And so I read the thing, and what's interesting about this script is, people do not want to see it get made because of the story it tells. And I know that Gavin has heard parts of the script and has said that the parts he's heard, that in some of the quoted conversations, the only people who would know the words that were said in those conversations were him, Sarouche, and Shane, the three founders of Vice. Meaning that, there's a lot of real detail here, that this isn't all made up, that this is some real shit. And so you get to, by reading this script, you get to see the founding of Vice as a little magazine on the streets of Montreal, all the way up to the empire that has a giant office in Brooklyn, in New York there. And just everything from that free give-out magazine to the television station Viceland. And in it, you also get to see a lot of really interesting kind of times as Shane and Gavin part ways and slowly realize that they need to part ways. And then Shane basically kicks Gavin to the curb. Now, the one thing that I learned reading this script that I hadn't seen ever publicly talked about was that there's a part where Sarouche, the third founder of this, accuses Shane of setting Gavin up so Gavin would end up with all these alt-right people, end up falling in with them, and then shooting video of him being so happy around them, and then using that video to kick Gavin out of Vice. So basically what Sarouche is stating in the script, as I read it, is that Shane knowingly put Gavin in an area where he thought he would fit right in among these brand new kind of extreme rightists, as they were calling themselves. To which, of course, Gavin, being that guy who everyone of that type likes to follow, he's just got that mentality, that leader of, assholes kind of mentality.
Alpha male!
Within, days is already basically the one who's kind of dictating to them what's going on. By the time that the event happens where he's supposed to be reporting on them, Gavin gets up on stage and takes the mic and does a whole dissertation on Western chauvinism and how good it is to be a white male. And of course, Shane has someone in the audience, according to Suresh, videotape this, leak the video over to Viacom to make it possible to get rid of Gavin. Which is interesting because at first we think Gavin just, is this piece of shit, and he goes and starts the Proud Boys. Instead, now you almost see this piece of shit who his best friend since childhood, they had a little teenage high school punk band together, sets him up because he knows what kind of a piece of shit he is to become an even bigger piece of shit. And it's a different twist on the story that we just didn't know.
And,
when you read the script, it's a really interesting twist on it.
Yeah.
And now the Proud Boys are terrorists.
I mean, It's quite an odd terrorist group of a bunch of fledgling Nazi types that like to beat each other up while naming breakfast cereals. I mean, come on, let's be real here. You just take a
Yeah.
look at them as a whole, and it's goddamn ridiculous, top to bottom.
Well, I will state very clearly that, I am not saying I know for a fact that Shane set up Gavin to start the Proud Boys. What I'm saying is, in the script, which we have some low-level proof might be mostly correct, Sarouche in the script claims that Shane did that. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not putting myself out there as the guy saying that. I'm saying the other co-founder says it in the script.
Yes.
Clear distinction. Important one. Yes, according to the leaked film script, but
there is some crazy stuff in that script.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite quote is still the one that's used on the website. What is it exactly? Where is it here? Yeah, my favorite quote is by Shane Smith, Vice co-founder, in the script. Quote, "Everything we've ever accomplished is built on a foundation of sodomy." That is supposedly a quote of Shane.
Followed up by a leather ass butt fuck.
Yeah. What a script.
Yes.
There's the interview where the person from the Ottawa Times is there and asks multiple questions to Gavin, in which he responds to each with the word "gay." That's his whole response. So that really shows you where he is.
I mean, dude exposed his waxed, bleached asshole and inserted a butt plug
on live stream.
On live stream.
Yeah. To own the libs, to own the liberals.
And then he sat down and looked all uncomfortable.
I didn't feel owned. I don't know about you.
No, actually, I thought it was quite amusing.
I mean, although I'm not really that liberal.
As somebody that is used to butt-related antics on live stream, I felt a kinship with him for just a brief moment.
Yeah. He's it's an interesting day. It is an interesting day. Buddies. Yeah.
Buddies.
So now I'm just wondering what happens to Gavin, the Canadian, who is now the self-proclaimed founder of a listed terrorist organization.
Yeah. The NDP leader called him out by name multiple times over the past 2 months or so. He's probably shitting bricks. I would be. Yeah, so at this point, we're just trying to get this script around as much as humanly possible, as many eyeballs as possible. And if the end result is this movie actually does get produced, that will be good. That will be
I think
great.
it's entertaining. I mean, I think there could be some touch-ups to the script in terms of just the writing style, but it's not horrible.
Oh yeah, you can have like the Howard Stern docudrama. I mean, it's realistically it's same kind of fare, and it would probably be highly entertaining, highly crude.
Right. I mean, it depends. The one other thing that I found funny was I went into the script thinking that this is Vice and this is Vice's offices, and they started off as a bunch of street punks in Montreal, so I'm expecting hookers and blow. I went into it expecting it, and there was still 10 times more than I expected in this script.
The glory hole sequence, that was just
Oh yeah,
woo.
wow, that I mean, oh my god. Yeah.
There was a lot to unpack there.
You all need to read this script. It's it's 103 pages, but it's script, so like if it was real printed like book style, it'd be about 55, 60.
Yeah.
It's not long. You can get through it, and it's funny.
No, you consider that one page of text is probably 2 or so minutes of film footage and exposition.
Yeah. Oh, I am feeling it.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's all. That's the two things I really wanted to make sure we talked about tonight. I want to just bury the Mike Jones thing. Like, whatever is going on there, I hope he finds, I don't know, the right meds, the right people in his life to stop all of that, and just like, I don't know, he could come out with a statement saying, yeah, I was only around for a month, it was this, it was that. That's like, that makes sense on the timelines, that names people who were actually in those places that he claims to be from. And there's 100 ways he could have gone here, and instead he just doubled down on the grift. And
This would have blown up for him a lot sooner. Because apparently about 2 months ago, one of his co-hosts that I already know, now former co-host, apparently he invited me to the podcast because he was like interested in possibly getting me as a guest on there. And wow, I almost wish that I didn't miss that in the first place, because that would have probably blown up really, really, really quickly. We wouldn't even be having this conversation right now, because I probably would have already torn it all down.
I don't know. I just don't need any more beef out there than like I have, that like I haven't earned, that I don't even know exists. Like I don't need this to become a thing. What I need is for it just not to have ever happened in the first place,
Yes.
or for it to be properly repaired.
I don't need fresh beef, but if you're going to manufacture beef that involves me, you're probably going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
So don't make up that you have beef, because then you are going to have beef, and nobody likes it when they have beef with me. That's a historical fact.
Yeah. It's not enjoyable. As someone who has had beef with Kirtaner. Although, again, we're talking a decade ago. Me and this guy, best friends now. But back then, I learned it's not that fun.
No.
No.
And trust, I'm way more measured these days than I used to be. Like it's an order of magnitude different, and even then, it's still highly unpleasant.
Where's the thing? There it is. Okay, cool. Okay. So, what else should we talk about today? Anyone got any topics that we haven't explored yet? Like, the Supreme Court let the emoluments clause basically time out, saying that now that Trump isn't president anymore, they can't go after him for possibly enriching himself while president through the presidency, because they let all the things time out. So, never mind. So that's great, right? Other things from today. I mean, so Biden's putting time into actually getting the $20 bill changed to Harriet Tubman, which would be awesome, I think, personally, and well-deserved, and the right change, because fuck Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, that would be a good change.
Mm-hmm. The Jimmy Dore and Boogaloo stuff is definitely very interesting, and there's going to be some stuff happening there, including the possibility of people going on to his show to correct him. That's all happening in the background, and we'll talk about it when it's actually going down, maybe later this week. But there's definitely some fun going on there. I mean, Dr. Abinway, I would hope he does have some takes on that, because I don't remember any, and I feel like I missed out if there were. Oh yeah, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders is running for governor of Arkansas, which no. No, I am not here for this. That is a bad idea. I hope the people of Arkansas realize how big of a bad idea that is. It's absolute insanity.
Lauren Boebert on footage breaking Colorado firearms laws, multiple, federal and state.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't see it, good old QAnoner herself, Bobert, in our wonderful Congress, there's video now of her accepting a gun as a gift from a Colorado white supremacist, and that is illegal in multiple ways, both local and federal in Colorado. So there is now recent video of her breaking both Colorado and federal law that is online, and I am hoping that the powers that be do something about it. Maybe if they can't find a way to use the fact that she encouraged all of the people on the 6th to actually go into these offices and helped them find where they needed to be in the Capitol. Maybe they can use this video to get her instead. The white supremacist, for anyone wondering, is Stephen Moore. Well known one. You can look him up. There's he's a biker gang guy. He is well known by the ADL, the what do you call it, the SPLC, all the various groups that track hate have files on this guy, and she just accepts a gun out of an American flag box from him on video, and that ain't legal. It's not.
No.
It's not okay to do.
Backtrack on that in a hurry. Said she would buy it.
So in a more hilariously horrible way, today, also related to the U.S. Capitol, we found out that a group of the insurrectionists and rioters who broke into the U.S. Capitol building smeared poop on the walls.
Because of course they did.
They did that. Damn it. They literally smeared poop on the walls. There's an Orlando Sentinel article about it, where they talk about what happened, and they went into one of the bathrooms in the Capitol, went number 2, then pulled it out without flushing, and then spread it around the building. So that's just great.
Yeah.
Ugh. How do you
the only way that could
that?
possibly get worse is if they were positive for COVID at the time.
Right. Other good news today. What was the other good news? Amazon decided to drop support for the Oath Keepers. So you go to smile.amazon.com, you can choose a charity, and then anytime you buy from Amazon, a small percentage of your purchase price is donated to the charity. So that way you just have to keep going back to smile.amazon.com if you ever buy from them. And it's a neat idea, but fuck Jeff Bezos. But they removed the Oath Keepers from that platform, so no one can just donate their money now automatically to the Oath Keepers through Amazon. Who knows how big of a chunk of money that was for them, but that's a good one. I'm happy to see any people like that getting destroyed.
I'm so disappointed nobody's digging on Ken Rucker as gung-ho as they probably should, because he was running multiple Q aggregators and was president of Oath Keepers Florida, at which there is proof of business registrations of this out there. Very clear link. Wonder what's going on with that.
Yeah, there's a lot from the last few weeks to be looked into. It's just too much.
Yep.
Rudy Giuliani is being sued for $1.3 billion by Dominion Voting Systems for everything he said and caused for them.
Why isn't Ron Watkins being sued by Dominion?
I think they don't think he has any money or assets to acquire at the end of it, and they do think Giuliani has some stuff they're going to get when they win this one. I think that's where the calculation is. Personally.
Okay.
It's just a personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're probably right. But, they should still do it anyway and pursue some form of damages just to dissuade um, people. Wait a minute. No, no, I'm sorry. The Watkins have shitloads of money. Like Jim Watkins is a multi-millionaire
Yes, but
from his adult
Giuliani's
businesses.
got to be a lot richer than that, right?
I know, but it's not
Maybe.
like
I
they
don't know.
have
He's
nothing.
around Trump, and Trump doesn't know how to handle money either. So, I mean, Trump's lost $1 billion. So,
Uh, this is all
yeah,
so
right.
stupid. It's just all this is stupid. I hate it.
So, another thing you all can sign up for if you've got Twitter accounts and you have a verified email, verified phone number, and two-factor authentication turned on, you can go to birdwatch.twitter.com, which is their new attempt at crowdsourcing, basically flagging tweets as disinformation. So their thoughts are that they're going to basically automatically push any tweet that quickly gets over 500 interactions, retweets, likes, shit like that, over to Birdwatch. And then on Birdwatch, people will be able to make notes, upvote other people's notes, and if notes become so popular on that tweet, they will then get automatically attached underneath of Birdwatch, or underneath of the tweet, as a note about that tweet, about like its possible disinformation or something. And my issue here is that I feel like it's going to get brigaded.
I do
feel
too.
like it's going to get brigaded. We'll see if they have like really good measures in place, but from the
It's America only right now too. I can't access it without changing a VPN.
Be from a US IP address right now to be on it, but anyone can sign up and start using it. So a lot of people are comparing it to like the idea of Wikipedia and the editing and whatnot, but I figure I would say it because you know the right-wingers are going to go all attack this thing, so we better at least have some of us over there taking
I kind of want to try and mess with it myself. Like my interest is piqued.
It's birdwatch.twitter.com. It's brand new as of like today. It's in beta basically. Who knows if you can bot the shit out of it? I really
That's
don't know.
what I want to find out.
Brand new. When I first saw it earlier today, when Kurt actually sent it over to me, I went and looked at the one news article that was talking about it, and there was only one tweet on all of Birdwatch at that point, and it was their tweet talking about what Birdwatch was. So it didn't have anything I could play around with yet. I haven't gone back since, so I don't know if there's anything there yet, but maybe you have to sign up to see them. I don't know. I don't. Yeah. I didn't go through the sign up yet. I'm gonna do it probably tomorrow. I wonder if.
But if you can somehow end up getting arbitrary labels put under people you don't like, if you find that threshold, like, do you need 20 people? Do you need 50 people? This is. Twitter is never good when they're implementing new features. This is a historical fact.
Yeah, they say it's going to be specific people, but if you go there and hit the button, you can sign up. So I don't know how that works out. For all I know, that's putting you into a queue, and then they're going to, be themselves and look for the verified users and let them in first or something. Like, who knows?
Yeah, and how many right-wing shitlord verified users are there out there? Like we're saying,
Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, Bobert. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Andy No, Tim Pool. Oof.
I know, right? Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be abused. I think it's going to end up with some automation going on. I think people are going to actually abuse it once they get in. So we'll see. Well, I mean, no, because Twitter's going to stay up. So, Twitter's not the next Parler. Twitter still exists. How's that working out for you there, John?
Oh, boy. Like, every single bit of the timetable that they've given, they said that they're confident that it will return by the end of the month. It is almost the end of the month, and I don't think they're coming back still.
As we talked about their hardware use on Friday,
Yeah. No, 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 no.
it's too much. No one can provide that. Like, I mean, who's going to give that to you other than AWS or Azure or Google Compute, of which they can't go on any of those three.
No.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, they are way overspec for what they offer. I don't think they're overspec for their code. I think they're way overspec for what it does. So yeah.
They were saying that they needed like 600 gigabit per second internally.
I know it was 400 gig a minute, but still, what? These are like tweets. Like, what are you doing? How much metadata are you sending along with every message?
Yeah, that's just I don't even know. Uh, no. I can't even think about how you engineer something like that. Like I can't. And the only way that you're gonna get like if you're running your bare metal, how are you gonna have transport that fatty between all your nodes? Like that stuff works in Amazon's environment because it's like built for that, but
yeah, it's going to be tough. They're going to have a lot of trouble building out that. I mean, from a non-political perspective, if they pull off that at some other provider and it works with the code without major rewrites, it will be a technical marvel, a feat that I don't believe possible.
same. And if they do build it all themselves, that means that when they launch, they're essentially in beta state again, and it's probably going to be even more vulnerable than it was the last time.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good times. The obvious thing that we haven't, said today is, of course, it is always Punch and Nazi Day, so happy Punch and Nazi Day.
Yeah.
For everybody out there.
Is Matsy the new Goatsy?
I have new glasses on the way. For everyone who sees me kind of dip in on things, these are about 2 years old, and they've got a giant scratch across them that happened over the weekend. And I have ordered new glasses, but I will not have to keep dipping into look over at the chat and stuff like that anymore. Here coming up soon. Zenny takes a little bit for the glasses to show up. I cannot see without these. I'm blind like as a bat. Like it is. I've had glasses since second grade, so I do not survive well without them. And I was being really dumb, living on that edge of only having one pair of glasses, no contacts, no backup. So this time two are on the way, so I don't have this problem again.
Yep, and when Parler was dying, there was some hefty bugs with their upload system. Like there was a CSRF exploit to upload arbitrary files instead of just images. Didn't really have a chance to play around with that one, but that one was floating around out there.
Yeah, I mean, when you see
I wanted to upload a .php file and see what I could do.
When you see the fact that all their old versions were still available and requestable, you know that they fixed things in newer versions and they hadn't depreciated older versions out of the production servers, there were going to be problems.
Yes.
You could still get to version 1 of the platform remotely, and that's problematic. Chat.
What's fun? It's actually extra funny that the Parler scrape and all those events. Like, if Matsy didn't lie about the initial breach that I reported on in November, none of the remaining events probably would have happened. Parler would have still gone down with AWS deplatforming them more than likely, but the rest of the shit that went down, it all happened because he fucking lied.
Yeah.
uh, we have a running theme here of people not being forthcoming about things and then really bad shit happening. And luckily, right-wing shitbags will probably never stop lying. So that's how these things go.
It is. Yeah. I don't know. To be quite honest with chat here, I'm actually feeling unbelievably tired. So I don't know that we're going to go too terribly long. I really wanted tonight to be about two specific topics. And
Yes.
And then for us to chat just a little like we always do. I'm hoping that some kind of closure with the Mike Jones stuff can be, basically this. I'm hoping that, he stops using our names and saying we have beef, because from this moment on, I have none other than him doing that. So if he just stops that, then whatever. Just ugh.
Just ugh.
I don't need any more of that kind of drama in my life. I have enough of it, believe me. I have earned the enemies that I do have. My opponents out there and the people I do have beef with, which is a relatively small list, but it's still, nonetheless, a resourceful list of people. I don't have many people who dislike me at that level to be considered an enemy that aren't actually talented. So, I don't need, more added to that list. Just don't need it. So, if he could just go away, that would be cool.
Indeed. Why don't I update my kernel for more than 256 days as per your background image? That's a lab. That's a machine that I don't really give a crap about, and when it gets rebooted. It's for a very specific thing. Trust me, it's the same thing with this one over here. Basically, both of these are home labs that I dick around with, and it's my workstation.
Fancy hacker screens indeed.
Yes.
Ugh. So, yeah, wire, signal, all the fun stuff.
Yes.
So we're coming up on 1.5 here, and I'm going to ask chat the question I normally ask near the end. Is there anything we need to talk about before we call this one? Because, like I said tonight, I'm a little tired. We're not going to do some 4-hour marathon today. We probably will on Friday, because I'm sure shit isn't over, even though I'd like it to be. I'm hoping. What do you guys got for us? We do have a lot more fun stuff happening in the background, and as I said with the Jimmy Dore stuff, things are happening. We'll talk about that when it's a little farther along. All right, everyone. You ready, Kurt?
Yep. Yeah, I'm ready.
Goodbye, everybody.